Event organizers, get ready to level up. You're listening to the Event Academy Live podcast, where we elevate motivated event organizers. This podcast is brought to you by Fusion, all the event ticketing features and support you need for one low price. Check them out at getfusionsolutions.com. Now, it's time for your host, Jake Spurley.
Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Event Academy Live. I'm your host, Jake Spurley. It's a solo episode today. We're going to be talking about how money follows attention. What does that mean? It's an age-old saying that I absolutely love. Money flows in the direction of where the attention is at. That's why we do marketing. Because in marketing, we're trying to grab your attention. The more attention we get, the more money flows in our direction. How does that saying really play into events and how we produce our events and how we market our events? It's the same reason why I personally, Jake Spurley, have a YouTube channel. I'm the host of this podcast. I post 2 to 3 times a day on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We do webinars. There's a reason why we do so much. It's so that everybody in the event industry, we're always top of mind. Fusion is top of mind, but also me, Jake Spurley, is top of mind. Whenever somebody's thinking, oh, I don't really like my current ticketing company, I want to switch, I want them to think of me or Fusion. Or maybe they're thinking, hey, we need a speaker for an event that's about events. I want Jake. Jake knows what he's talking about. I want him to come speak at our event. It's the same thing. I create, and Fusion creates, a ton of content to have all of the attention in the industry focused towards us. Obviously, we can't capture all of it, right? But the more we create, the more we get in front of people, the more attention and awareness that we have in the industry over the long term, the more people we're going to be able to help and impact. And obviously, when you help people, money flows in your direction. Why is this important for your events? Ticket sales, attendance, publicity, everything. So how do you get attention? I guess this whole thing, money follows attention. Great. We understand what that means, right? The more attention you get, the more money you get. But how do you get there? How do you get that attention? You know, it comes from making yourself aware, making your audience aware, creating and being your own influencer for your event. You are your best influencer. You're the one behind the scenes. You're planning it. You're building it. You're creating it. You have to be your own influencer. So what are things you can do to create attention? You could create a weekly podcast around your event. Maybe you run a food event. You could have a weekly foodie podcast. Maybe your event is about women in business. You could have a weekly women in business podcast. You could have I don't know, if you're a fair, you could have a Fair Food Fridays thing where every Friday you cook in your home kitchen or whatever, a new fair item. That could get you some attention. You could do behind the scenes tours, behind the stages, behind shoots, behind the curtain, the green room, wherever it is. You could do behind the scene tours. You could do just day in the life, like vlog style stuff. Hey, here's me accepting vendors to my expo, or hey, here's me setting up tickets to go on sale, or just document what you're doing and post that. That's going to get you some attention. Maybe you only wear orange. Like I only wear, if I'm on set, if I'm recording, I'm only wearing orange shirts because I want everybody to associate orange with Jake Spurley and Fusion. Maybe it's as simple as just changing your colors, t-shirt, profile picture, whatever it is. There's a ton of things you can do to get attention. It's just how do you want to go about it and what makes sense for your event? The ticket here is there isn't a thing that is going to get you all the attention. You have to do multiple things. For a lot of event organizers, that's really hard. You guys are so slammed just trying to plan your event, schedule it, get all the stakeholders on the same page, and just pull the event off. You don't have time or brain capacity, let alone to think about how am I going to create attention? I got to do a podcast. Something is better than nothing in anything we do, right? Especially in events. Just doing a weekly podcast, 20 minutes out of your whole week, I guarantee you can do that. Or doing a cooking Fridays thing, 1 hour out of your day, out of the whole week, I guarantee you can do that. Just start with one thing, just one something. I don't care what it is, and get out there and start creating that attention. Attention is a quantity game. There's a famous person, Grant Cardone, back in his day when he had that saying of money follows attention, he was posting 3, 4, 6, 10 times a day. And he had friends and everybody in the industry saying, dude, you're going to lose all your customers. Like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. And he said, if you don't like my content, you can leave, right? If you don't enjoy what I'm talking about, then you aren't the right customer for me. And obviously you can unfollow me because we just weren't a good fit, and that's fine. And he went on to this. You can look him up, Grant Cardone. He's just about everywhere now. And you can see he's a great success. He has a lot of his sector is real estate. But the point there is that he went hard. He produced a ton of content. He got a ton of attention. And because of all this attention, he makes a ton of money. He has more opportunities. He sells more tickets to his event, his personal real estate events. He gets more real estate deals. I mean, the guy has so much attention in his industry. When you think real estate, it's hard not to think of Grant Cardone. Your event can be the same exact thing for whatever market you're in. If you're an international expo or trade show, or you're a localized, festival, fair, rodeo, whatever it is, you can dominate whatever market you're in. It just takes consistency, repetition, posting, getting your name out there, not being afraid to take a risk, take a leap, do that thing that everybody says is stupid and just do it anyways and try it. But I need you to know, making and producing and getting this much attention takes a while. It should take probably 6, 9, maybe even 12 months to get it to a level where you think it is probably successful. So give it 9 months and go hard. Don't let off the gas. Don't cut yourself slack. Hold yourself accountable to it and go get the attention you deserve. I firmly believe that the difference between events that are wildly successful, large, like the Coachellas, the Calgary Stampedes, the Reno Rodeos, the South by Southwest, whatever it is simply because they have more attention than anybody else, any of their other competitors. Attention is one of the cheapest things you can go out and do. Sure, it's not free. It's not free to post on social media either. It takes your time, an employee's time, that costs money. It's not free. Creating content isn't free because it costs you time. Nothing is free, but creating the attention is one of the cheapest things you can do through these organic channels, podcasts, webinars, Facebook Lives, whatever it is, social media in general. I want you to get out there and grab the attention you deserve. I firmly believe and have attended amazing freaking events that are a small scale. One of my favorite events is a garlic festival in North Plains, Oregon. They have a big elephant with a piece of garlic on it. It's like, I don't know, probably 20 feet wide and 30 feet tall, made out of plywood that they put up on the side of the highway. And that's about all they do. And it creates insane attention because people are driving that highway all day. They see this big elephant. They have the attention and they could easily go out and get more. The problem with that event is they just don't have space. Like they don't want to market anymore because they don't have any place to put these new people. But that's just an event where there's so many of you smaller events. And just because you're a small event means nothing. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have the attention. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have thousands and thousands of dollars in ticket sales flowing to you. It doesn't mean anything. Just because, let's say you're in the fair industry, let's say there's a fair that has 100,000 people and you only do 10, 20, 30, doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means they're bigger and they have more attention. Maybe you don't even have capacity for that. Success is different for every single event. A small event doesn't mean that it's not successful. A big event doesn't mean it's successful either. I've seen crazy big events that are 100% not successful. Their attendees left really mad. You can't compare yourself like that. It's just about going out and getting that attention. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this episode on why and how money follows attention, it's that you deserve it. And that just might be the difference between you breaking even and absolutely blowing every hope, dream, and expectation you had about your event completely out of the water. Go out, get the attention, try something different. I promise you, money can flow and will flow to you if you have enough attention. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of Event Academy Live. I will see you next week, every Wednesday, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll see you then. Until then, keep leveling up, fellow event organizers.
Thank you for listening to the Event Academy Live Podcast.
This show is powered by Fusion.
Event solutions for the modern event organizer. Don't forget to like, rate, and review. We hope you enjoyed the show. Until next week, keep leveling up, fellow event organizers.